The market is rallied up in a massive way. I think this might be, by my estimation, I think this might be a top 10 single day rally in history for the S&P. The NASDAQ, I think, was up 12%. Those are massive moves. Obviously, the market is showing a significant amount of confidence in this move. A lot of very happy people. I think this is a massive, massive benefit for consumers, for investors. I think everybody's breathing a sigh of relief because it's been extremely chaotic for the last few days. Obviously, this leaves us with at least 90 days of slightly more stability than we've had, which is great. I think it puts investors in a position where they can hopefully reset, regroup, and probably rebalance. If anybody has been really sweating this market drop, it's time to readjust your risk tolerance and your risk exposure to try to better reflect exactly how much you can really take. I think it was JP Morgan who came out earlier this week and said that their base case is recession in 2025. And they rescinded that today. We're going to probably hear more of that from Jamie Dimon tomorrow during JP Morgan earnings. I'm extremely interested to hear what he has to say because he's been vocal this week. But I think that's a massive vote of confidence that this is better for consumers. It's better for GDP growth. It's certainly going to mean that inflation is less likely to spike. We have CPI tomorrow. That's going to be interesting to see. It's obviously backward looking, but it's going to give us a better indication of sort of where we've been trending, knowing that the next 90 days are less likely to be as inflationary as we thought they were going to be even yesterday. Trump administration is really doubling down on being tough on China. China is certainly not backing off. I think it'll be interesting to see whether China reciprocates for a third time. I think that could be likely. But this is likely to reshape global trade if this persists. If nothing changes, 125% tariffs on Chinese exports to the US is immense. We import a massive amount, hundreds of billions of dollars from China. That will have to go somewhere else. I think it's going to rapidly change supply chains for companies who now operate heavily in China. That's already been happening the last few years. The seeds were sown for a lot of movement for companies like Apple and Nike and many others to shift to countries like Vietnam and India and other South Asian countries where production costs are obviously lower than they would be in the US, which is why the reciprocal tariffs were so damaging, is because the scope was so broad. There was really nowhere to hide. But now, assuming deals are going to be done and things are going to sort of develop at a much calmer pace, it's very likely that companies can have the confidence to start to invest in moving their supply chains to countries that are not going to have, 50, 100% tariffs. And that is going to squeeze China. It's certainly still going to be, a cost impact to the consumer, but a much lower one than what we were going to have even, again, a day ago. I think maintaining these China tariffs means that trade will shift, and it has to shift because businesses will be, really handling much higher costs if they keep operating as they are. But at the same time, the negotiating tactics with other countries clearly is a goal. I think if this was solely to just put the thumb on the scale and say we're making everyone move to the U.S. for manufacturing and for other products, then there would have been nothing like today. So I think we're seeing that it's a bit of both, but obviously China is squarely in the crosshairs for the toughest talk. If you have been debating panic selling, then now is the indication that, okay, it's time to rebalance. Don't sell the cash, but make some adjustments, make some moves, talk to a financial advisor if you don't know what to do. But today is an indication that the market has voted very confidently that this is productive. We are far from the high that we hit in February for the markets. So if you want to recover to where you were, we have a ways to go. But I wouldn't take it for granted that this isn't going to continue to be volatile. We could see tomorrow be a negative day. We could see tomorrow be a positive day. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't think anybody does. But if you have been sweating this, then do the right thing and rebalance into a proper risk exposure.